Hi, Jim Romer with the Weather Wealth newsletter, helping farmers and commodity traders in grains, soft commodities, and natural gas all over the world. We're going to be talking about the NAO index. It's going negative, folks, and usually that would suggest a very cold, snowy period for much of the United States and a spike in natural gas prices. But because of the warming Arctic, look at the sea ice behind me here. We don't have that situation right now to really warrant an extended period of very cold, snowy weather. The Northeast may get some snow over the next week or two, but it's mainly Europe that we're going to be talking about where the cold is going to be. So NAO index being negative, which means the polar vortex weakens over the Arctic Circle and drifts south and sometimes creates major havoc and cold and snow, is often influenced by warming aloft, some 20 or 30 or 40 miles up in space. You can see the warming occurring here that normally would disrupt the polar vortex, okay? So what we would normally have is a situation on the left, warming over the Arctic, above 20 to 30 miles up, creates a negative NAO there on the left and tends to bring cold, snowy conditions as the polar vortex drifts south over the eastern half of the country, sometimes the Midwest, as well as in Europe. As you can see, typically with a negative NAO there on the right, in white there, the stars are snowy periods. Low pressure tends to actually weaken, and high pressure develops with mild weather over Greenland. That's going to happen over the next few weeks. To the left is what's been happening over the last few winters. Very warm weather in Europe and the United States because of record global warming oceans and also a positive NAO. A positive NAO has low pressure there on the left over Greenland, tends to create warm winters. And to the right, you have high pressure, a weaker low pressure system over Greenland that tends to result in a very wavy cold pattern like this. So usually with a negative NAO, we would have this extreme cold, perhaps a spike in heating oil and natural gas prices. But because of the warming Arctic and a stronger El Nino phenomenon, the cold being deflected into Europe. So let's go back here for a second. This was 2010, 2009, 2010, the winter of, when we had a negative 2.83 NAO, one of the strongest negatives on record. Look at all that cold, 15 to 20 degrees below normal in December over much of Asia and parts of Eastern Europe, and 5 to 12 degrees or more below normal in the United States. As a result, natural gas prices spiked to close to $6 there. But this year, we continue to see, really since the mid-2015 to 2018 period, the last 5 to 8 years, the Arctic sea ice melting. On the left is back in 1985, and obviously in the last 30 to 40 years, all that sea ice has been melting. And one of the reasons why we've been on average expecting warmer winters in contrast to other firms out there over the last 4 or 5 years. The negative NAO index will result in cold weather in Europe, 5 or 10 degrees below normal, may affect some energy spreads. That's what we do here at Weather Wealth, advise in various options and futures and spreads in natural gas and also the heating oil market, grains, etc., you name it. So the cold weather the next few weeks is going to be mainly over in Europe, as well as a very snowy period. Good news for ski resorts over there. Will that cold move into the United States? How will the NAO index change here in the next few weeks? Because normally we would expect a much colder winter in the United States. But again, because of this melting sea ice and the Arctic just being at record warm levels for months, we don't expect that anytime soon. Enjoy.